My G's, this right here in front of you, it's my 765 LT from McLaren. That's right, this is mine, this is your boys, this is mine. And now sitting inside of the McLaren, I'm going to tell you guys what exactly is going on with McLaren, why I bought this, etc. So let's start with McLaren. McLaren is a relatively new company, so it's not a company that's been around like Ferrari forever. It's not a company like Lamborghini. They just started doing commercial production vehicles for the streets, I want to say around 2015. 16, I can't remember exactly when, but I remember I also put an order for a 12C that never arrived, so that's that. But McLaren has started making their actual cars in the 90s for the people, and the first car that they made was a $500,000 car called the McLaren F1, which is now one of the most legendary cars in all of history. It's my favorite car. Those were $500,000 back then. Right now you can get a single one for under $20 million. The maintenance a year on one of those is about $1 million, so you can have an idea of what kind of people own those cars. It's insane, and it's obviously one of my favorite cars of all time, if not my favorite car of all time, with that middle seat so you can drive the car feeling like you're a race car driver. It's insanity. V12, it's covered by gold. Oh my god, it's just amazing. But McLaren's rose to greatness hasn't been that really great, and it hasn't gone rosy as everyone would expect. They've actually had a lot of ups and downs, especially financially speaking. Right now, actually, after all the financial troubles, the group from Bahrain decided to just completely buy McLaren, and it's changed ownership. So now it's a new ownership, and that just happened about a month ago. So these guys are going to continue to make these insane cars, and it's obscene how good they are. When they started with the 12C, a lot of people complained because they have no heart. They said the 12C was too synthetic, that it didn't really you couldn't even feel anything, and it was like very plasticky, if you will, very artificial, some said. And in my opinion, after that, they've corrected the mistakes and they've made amazing cars to drive, this being probably one of the most amazing cars to drive. So without anything further else to say, let me show you the spec of my McLaren LT. 765 LT. LT stands for long tail, and ladies and gentlemen, that tail is long and nice. But the first thing I want to show you is, yes, it's got two different colors. So it's got this lighter blue and a darker blue. I never memorized the names of it, but of the blues, because it's blue, it's just light blue, dark blue. But you know, some people out there will probably tell us what kind of color this is. I love what they did with the paint. This is just a straight up paint job, and I bought it used. It had 400 miles when I just picked it up, and it's already clear wrapped. So thank you so much to whoever did it. It is an amazing spec. This might be one of, if not my favorite spec car I've ever had in my life, even beyond the 918 that I had, because this is unreal. It looks like a toy, it looks like candy, it looks like when you were growing up and you had like those toys that I think they were Hot Wheels that you put in hot water and they change colors. That's what this reminds me of, and those were happy times when I was a kid. So what's different between my LT and every other LT? So number one, that color. Two, dude, it's got carbon fiber bits everywhere. These are not even in the 720 or the 750, well, in the 720, which is the actual base car for this. And these are carbon fiber right here, carbon fiber on the front splitter. Is just insanity. And then you can see the LT logo pretty much everywhere. One thing I love about this is the brake calipers are the same color as to the section that they're in. So these are light and the ones on the back are actually dark, believe it or not. So these are dark blue, just like the paint, and it's unbelievable. And when the sun hits the paint, it's just dimensions and dimensions of epicness. Then the rear diffuser, obviously all carbon fiber too. Same thing with these wings. The only thing that the guy didn't get in carbon fiber was this right here. The wing. I don't think it needed it. I think this is perfection. Now, the engine We're talking about 750 horsepower, more or less, give or take, from that same V8 twin turbo that McLaren puts, the 4.0 liter one. And it's the same engine. You can't see it. You cannot open it here. But if you look closely, if you look through there, you can actually see the engine of the car, which is insane that it's so low inside of this car. It's gorgeous. What about the new exhaust? So this is a different exhaust from the 720. The 720 has the two of them. The wing is longer. It's bigger. It produces 25%. The whole car produces 25% more downforce than the 720S. And a lot of people complain on the 720S, dude, it's such a cool ride, but you know, it's not raw. It's not. Well, this is why. Because of this. My favorite things in here, the carbon fiber mirrors. I'm telling you, it's everything. He didn't spare a single dollar spec in this car. And I think the result is epic. Epic, epic. Even the key. I want you to look at the key. It's the same paint as in the car. And it looks so much fun with the orange. It goes so well with it. Even those markers, they look good on this. The only thing I want to change is the wheels. I think, and by the way, the design of the wheels is great. I just think they need to be bronze or black or gold, something like that, just not the same. And I can probably play with two different colors on the front and on the back because the car is two colors. What do you guys think? Please let me know. What would you do if this was yours? Now let me show you how the car opens. You gotta let a second go by, and then you can open the door. Now I want you to look at the door. I mean, those holes, those ducts where the air goes through, they're amazing, amazing. They're my favorite part of everything because you can actually feel how the air pushes the car down. And of course, you have that massive door that looks like a wing when you open it. And that's the way a supercar should open, not with a regular door. I'm sorry, Ferrari. I'm sorry, Lamborghini with a Huracan. But that's the truth. This is the way a supercar should have a door. So the first thing you're gonna notice when you open the door, it's like there's buttons right here, and it says tonneau, like as if it was a pickup truck. So what exactly is that for? And I was actually wondering that, and I had to look it up. So whenever you have the top regularly down, this opens up and you can store some stuff in here. But by storing some stuff, I mean literally like a briefcase, paper thin briefcase. That's basically all you can put in there. But are you really going to store a lot of things in there? Probably not. Let's be honest. Now, aside from the door, which is gorgeous, look at all of the carbon fiber right here. And then you find your number plate right here. And it says 146 out of 765. That's this bad boy right here. But before, look at the interior of this thing. Before I actually show you the front, the interior, let me show you the trunk. Because honestly, we were saying that you don't need that space to store anything. Why? Because the trunk is so massive. It's a frunk, of course, it's on the front, and it's enormous. I'm sure if you guys have followed for a while, you saw me in the trunk of a 720S, of my 720S. So, you know, you can fit in here perfectly. You can fit in Alejandro, no problem. So you don't need that space in there. The interior follows pretty much everything else in the car, except this one has the Senna seats. You guys know I love the McLaren Senna, and I thought the seats were one of the coolest things ever, and I'm glad they brought them into this car. They are perfect. It's a little bit of a pain in the ass to exit because you see how tight that is, but unless you're a fat ass, you should be able to exit no problem. The seats are Alcantara, all carbon fiber, and everything is matte finish carbon fiber in this car. My guy that spec'd the car really did a hell of a job. Carbon fiber everywhere. He didn't spare a dime. And obviously the famous dash that you can find in the 720S that goes up and down, it's got it. This is what dreams are made of. And the blue is just exquisite. Have I said that? Let's go for a drive. little note. I don't know if you guys remember this, but we made these when the Senna burned down because there's the risk of like, how could you get out, right? So then we always thought about that. Something to cut your seatbelt and something to break the window so you can get out, right? So we have it here. This is the only thing that my wife told me. If you want to buy a McLaren again, this is the only thing that I ask you, please keep it in the car. So, sweetie, no problem. You got me a little gift?
I know how excited you've been for this car. I felt like it's a momentous occasion. So if you want to close your eyes real quick.
Okay.
Ta-da!
No way! Easy fire spray. This is exactly.
Since I know since in the front, like you're not gonna be able to reach that in the case of a fire.
That's right.
So you can put this in the cup holder. You're good to go. You just spray. You just take off the cap. You're ready to go.
Fucking genius! Thank you so much.
I want to make sure you stay safe out there in that beautiful car.
I appreciate you, dog. Thank you so much.
course.
Thank you, sweetie. Look, I'm safe.
I know, and I gave you the thing.
Driving it, and this is where you get absolutely all of your money's worth when you're driving this thing. Can you even hear me? Can you even see me with everything vibrated the way it's vibrating right now? It's absolutely mental. This is supposed to be a track car for the streets, and it absolutely meets all of the requirements to be able to claim that, ladies and gentlemen. This is just like a Senna. It feels just like the Senna, but a little bit more human, if you will, because the Senna is just too raw, but this is just a tad bit more everyday-ish. A lot of people complain on the 720 being too normal, too easy to drive. Let me tell you something. This absolutely fixes that. This is a monster. You can feel everything on the road. You can hear everything on the road. It's a masterclass on how to put together a car. The acceleration is fucking brutal. And what about the braking? There's no one behind me. You see that wing behind me or not really? Oh, the fact that the wing's helping me, the turbos are going. This car is poetry in motion, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God, this is an instigator. It wants you to go faster and faster, and the faster you go, the more you feel the car come down because of that downforce, that extra 25% downforce on a 720S. I can feel every single bit of it. It's incredible. The brakes are insane. The transmission is absolutely perfect. The ride is extremely hard, but at the same time, when you have it in the easiest mode, it's pretty damn good. Visibility, you guys can see it here, and I can actually defrost my glass so you can see even more. It feels like it's open even though I have it closed right now so that I can talk to you. It's fucking fantastic. Oh my God, the adrenaline every time you get to drive it because it's a real wheel drive car and this thing likes to play with you. Oh my fucking God. It's unbelievable, unbelievable. There's a turbo light, but if you pre-charge the turbos, you'll never have a problem with it. Downshifting is incredible. The burps and the everything the car does is delicious. And one thing I love is just feeling the road like this. Like literally I'm turning, it feels like I'm turning the world around me. And whenever you accelerate, it's a whole different experience because when you accelerate, it feels like you're not going fast. It feels like the world's coming fast at you. It feels like you're moving the world, like as if the world was a treadmill and you were pushing it. It's delivering so much in so little time, and it's an overload to your senses everywhere. And that is exactly what I look for in a car. I like to feel one with the road. I like to feel superhuman, and this thing does that and makes me feel like fucking Superman on steroids, but Mexican in a way that nothing else would. It's unbelievable what it does. The interior is perfect. I think you need these seats because if you're really gonna drive it a little bit hard, you want to be able to know that you're not going to be moving around. So I think in a way these seats are necessary. Listen to that engine and the way it, and then the brakes, and then the fucking brakes. This is a whole different league of car. How close would I relate it to a Senna? I would say it's 90% there. I think the Senna, the only thing it has, like those doors were thinner, and it feels like you can absolutely actually feel that. The drag on the Senna, this is faster. On a straight line, this is absolutely ridiculous. Vibration is the same, the engine feels the same, it's raw, it wants more, it wants to go, and it's unbelievable. Let me tell you something, guys, if you haven't learned this, make your wife happy and life will pay you back. And this is me. I made my wife happy and she let me have a McLaren, and I am the happiest fucking idiot in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my 765 LT. Thank you, universe. Thank you, McLaren, for building this car, and thank you, Alejandro, for having money to buy one. Have a good one.